guys? This is Mike with Retro Gamer Studios. Today we are going to take a quick look at the PlayStation Mini, I guess the Classic Mini? PSX Classic. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. The failed PlayStation game system with 20 games on it. Look, it should have had Crash Bandicoot on it. It should have had a lot more on it. It would have made it way better. Like, look, they did good with Twisted Metal. My opinion, it should have been Twisted Metal 2, right? Rainbow Six, yeah, good game, but not the best, like, shooter that they could have put on this system. Tekken 3, great game. I would have liked to see, like, Bloody Roar or Rival Schools or, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a Tekken hater at all. I like Tekken. I grew up playing Tekken. So that's something that I kind of got to come to terms with. Look, it deserves it, all right? Tekken 7's amazing, and this is just one of the great games in all their lineups, right? Siphon Filter, yet again, it's kind of like Rainbow Six, like, right? I mean, they got so much shit going on, and, I mean, the PlayStation had so many great games, and they're going to put Siphon Filter on here in Rainbow Six. Cool. Maybe Siphon Filter 2 deserved a little bit more of a spot on here than 1 did, but maybe there will be an update for this thing down the road. We don't know. Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, right? It's the only puzzle game they put on here besides Intelligent Cube. Both of which are really cool. I mean, this kind of appeals to me because of the fighting aspect of it, but it didn't keep my interest super long. I mean, it's more of a game that, like, I see my fiance playing. R4, pretty dope. I like it, right? I mean, there's some really great PlayStation 1 racing games. There's a lot, right? You got Wipeout, you got Gran Turismo, you got Ridge Racer. I mean, and they kind of had to make a choice, okay? Atlas, amazing company that puts out games. I never really got to play Persona Revelations, but this gives me an opportunity to play through the Persona series. Resident Evil Director's Cut, super fucking dope. I'm so stoked that they put this on here. Wishing they had Resident Evil 2, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Rayman. Okay, look. If you're going to put a platformer on the PlayStation is known for one major icon, and that's Crash Bandicoot. And I want to talk to Sony right now on a personal level and be like, listen, come sit down, and I want to grab them by the shoulders and shake the living shit out of them for not putting Crash Bandicoot on this system. I digress. Oddworld? Okay, I'd never played this game. I actually sat down and played it for like an hour. Actually kind of piqued my interest. It's kind of weird as fuck. Concept's really cool. And, like, the first scene, like, where they first drop you in, there's hidden shit, like, hidden levels right in the first scene. So that kind of appealed to me. That was pretty cool. Maybe we'll do a video on this coming down the road. Maybe we'll go through the whole series of games. I don't know yet. We'll see. Mr. Driller. Now, I have one arcade at the moment. It's probably the 5th one that I've put together and built. I've had Mr. Driller on my previous arcade cabinets. I could never previously get it to work. So this is kind of cool. This gives me an opportunity to see it. I believe it's kind of like a new school Dig Dug kind of thing. But we'll do a video about it. I did play it, if you see. There's kind of like a resume point here. we'll talk about that in a minute. Metal Gear Solid, right? Dope as shit. Probably one of the best titles that the PlayStation library could have. The series is amazing. It's done well over the couple of years, and I think that there will be many more of these titles to come. Jumping Flash is a weird first-person platformer where you got to get giant, like, carrots. It's really odd. I guess it appeals to the stoner crowd, or, like, if you were tripping on LSD or something. It is, it's a wild ride. We'll say that. Intelligent Cube, that's pretty dope. Really cool concept for kind of a puzzle game. Some blocks you can explode, some blocks you can't. They're constantly rolling at you. You have to wait for the correct blocks to be on your bombs to explode them, to progress further down the rows. Actually kind of cool. Like, I spent a couple of hours as a kid playing this, I believe. I have yet to play it. Like, if you look down here at the resume point, there is not one, which means I have yet to play this. Grand Theft Auto. Okay, look. Out of 20 games, y'all put the original Grand Theft Auto on here. And I appreciate that. But I think that space could have been spent on a better game, right? Like, look, and I understand Final Fantasy VII here is probably one of the best RPGs that this system has to offer, and it is multiple discs. So I understand that this game here took up quite a bit of space as far as what was available on the system, but still, it's cool to play for 5-10 minutes and then you get bored and you move on, right? I'm sure people, and myself including, can spend another 40-50 hours playing this game. Destruction Derby, I mean, when you got like R4 to compete with, it's kind of hard to play Destruction Derby. I mean, unless you're just trying to just beat the hell out of some people, but okay. Cool Borders 2. Now, this was like a precursor to Tony Hawk, and I grew up in New York snowboarding, so, I mean, this kind of hit home to me. Some people it won't. Going back and playing it now is really kind of rough. But, I mean, the concept's pretty cool, right? Battle Arena Toshinden, right? So, it's really hard to compete with, like, Tekken 3 on this system, but it's cool because it's 3D. I believe this is one of the very few first of the time, like, 2.5D fighting systems. I think you had, like, Virtual Fighter. Some of the other Tekkens you could, like, sidestep. But this one was, like, a full, like, 3D environment. Like, you could sidestep plus jump. So this was pretty cool. You had, like, sidestep buttons. So, I mean, it was kind of cool. They added this and included this. This was kind of really cool for me. Wild Arms, I mean, another great RPG. I started playing it, got a couple hours into it now. I may end up doing a video about it, but, like, on a system like this, when you have to compete against a game like Final Fantasy VII, it's really kind of hard, you know? So, I mean, but that's about it. Now we're back to it. Like, see, I mean, they give you a little bit of everything on the system, but, I mean, as far as everything goes, you're very limited, right? So, there's something I did to my system, and I kind of did touch base on this on the other video, and it has something to do with a USB drive that I kind of showed you guys. It was a black 64 gig USB drive. Well, this is the vanilla PlayStation. This is no USB plugged into it. You get settings. Like, I can go in here and get rid of my mod. We'll just leave it as my mod. I'm not gonna say I did it. Somebody else came over and did it. I paid them to do it. But I mean, this is basically it. You have a virtual memory card for every single game. You get your resume point, and you get your 20 games, right? So what I'm going to do now is I am going to shut the system down, and we're going to plug in the USB, and we're going to go from there. And I'll show you guys basically what's going on when we have the mod installed and plugged in. Now, as far as everybody else is concerned, when I do play my Final Fantasy VII, as you can see, you know, the resume points here at the train graveyard, which is where we just left off on the latest Final Fantasy VII playthrough. But this is where it's at. I completed that video. I did one other short video of a quick playthrough of Destruction Derby, and now I'm doing this video. So you guys can see that this is being done on the complete vanilla version of the PlayStation Classic. I have no mods or hacks installed on the game, so that is something that you guys have to keep in mind. But we're going to get ready. We're going to switch over to the modded USB now so we can check that out. So stand by. We'll be right back. Quite a bit. Now I have some new games on here. I just did a fresh install of this Auto Bleem, so it's going to import some games. So this is the first time I'm booting this myself as well, because basically I installed Auto Bleem onto a USB. I changed USBs, and that's what ended up causing me some issues where I had to do a full fresh reinstall. No games found. Rescan that shit. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I mean, as you can kind of see, like, it's finding games, it's updating its database. Now I did a full Auto Bleem, so it should have all, like, the covers for the games and all that, and I shouldn't have to actually get that stuff and, like, actually post it on the USB, so we'll see what happens. This is a first for me and you together, so we're going to experience it together. Excuse me, I need a drink. So we're updating. We're updating. Apparently this is kind of a slow process, so bear with me, guys. Apparently it's going to do this shit every time. There we go. 3 games scanned. We hit start to go back. No. Start. Alright, so there we go. We now have Batman Forever. Kinda cool. Alright. It's going slow for some reason. Ooh, there we go. New games. As you can see, it still kept resume points. Let's go over here to Final Fantasy and let's check our save state. Ah, see, now something different here. This is a different resume point. So we'll have to go in here and, you know what? Let's just start the game and let's see if my save point is here, because the last save game is at the train graveyard. So I may have to just play it on the vanilla, but we'll see what happens. Where's our save state? It's weird too because the PlayStation Classic also reverts back to the circle being except see, now we're back at the wall market. All right, so with this being said, like, we're gonna have to go back and we're gonna have to play that on the vanilla one. What happened? What happened? It froze. Go. Let's hit start. Go into Auto Bleem. No. There we go. It's going much faster now. Alright. So this is a new game that was added. That was a new game that was added. This was a new game that was added. So, let's check and see if they work. Select. Triangle is to emulator menu. Alright. Let's check that out. Boot up the Street Fighter collection. We'll take a look at this real quick, and then we'll go back to the Auto Bleem main page, and we'll talk about how you can do some theming and some other things, and really kind of change stuff around, because this made it to where you can pretty much load like your backup copies of PlayStation 1 games to a USB and allow you to play them. So it looks like these added games are playing no problem. Well, that was the Capcom logo so far that played no problem. Let me step back for a second and say that. Hello? Anything? Aha! Here we go. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Let's do it. Wow. Oh yeah. What do we got going on here? Let's see. There we go. You know what, let's turn this back down a little bit. Maybe make it easier to hear me on the audio. Alright, so names are correct for at least the English version. He was M. Bison, but he looked too much like Mike Tyson, so they changed names around. Good God, load. Load. Pick a character, load. Pick a stage, load. Throw a fireball, load. Throw a top tooth. Oh, you cheap son of a bitch. be all 3 punches. Alright. Well, anyways, as you can see, other games do work. I just hit the reset button on the PlayStation Classic. Apparently it takes a little bit of time for it to transfer everything back through the USB, and then back through the system, and back to the USB, and then back to the system. But, as you can see, playing a game we shouldn't have been playing. So, totally up the value of this PlayStation Classic. So, cool. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of an option, you know, but I mean, here you go. There's your resume from save spot. The menu's nice and fast again. So we go in here, we hit select, go into options. Themes. So it just kind of depends on what you want to do. I kind of like the evolution, you know. You can go in here and you can change a whole lot of options. But you can change everything about the UI, which I really do like. Gives you some options, and it makes it way better. But anyways, guys, that's kind of the difference between like an AutoBleem modded version of this and like the actual vanilla. So, bored with the games? Add some more. You know, they do sell add-on packs for it, but I just felt like I could spend 15 minutes of my time instead of paying $30, $50, whatever it may be. But anyways, guys, thanks as always for watching, checking out the videos. Please like, please subscribe, please click the updates on when new content's uploaded, which is normally weekly. Sometimes we do have to take a week off. As it stands right now, we've got a major hurricane off the coast, which may take our studio out, or may take us off the air for a little bit. I don't know how that's all going to work. So, we will keep you informed on everything that's as things happen, but, we hope we don't have to evacuate or, lose our studio. We just hope we can keep bringing you guys the best content that we can. So, anyways, guys, thanks, and keep gaming.